I mean, AI is amazing. Like, we have to adapt and use it, but nothing will ever replace in real life connection. And I think now more than ever, like, people want that. Brands need that.
Yeah.
And I think the brands that are smart are like, they're coming and they're showing up in a big way.
Hi, I just want to take a second and say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. If you could take a second and make sure that wherever you're listening or watching, you can hit that subscribe or follow button so that I can continue to bring on amazing guests. And again, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Now let's go ahead and get back to the show. All right, Lucy, welcome to the What She Needed podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell our listeners, what can we expect to learn from you today as they listen?
Today, we'll be talking about all things community building, anything related to getting back to in real life, hosting events, brand sponsors, venues, and how you can build a community of your own.
I love it. I love it. I'm very excited. I have so many personal internal questions that I need to ask.
Perfect. I'm going to do all the tea.
Yes. What I really want to walk people through is so Lucy and I, for context, you guys, I know Lucy, I would say pretty well. We've known each other for maybe a little bit over a year now.
Yeah, I think
right?
So.
A little over a year. And I know her story. I know how she's built this amazing community, this company that she has. And she's got 2 companies, right? She's partners in one, and we'll dive into all of that tea. But really, what I want you to walk people through, because you started your career literally in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
And I think hearing your story and everything you went through, if you're open to sharing, I would love our listeners to listen, because I think that obviously this podcast is about a version of you that wish you knew what you knew then, what you know now, right?
Right.
And so I would love for you to share a little bit about the story of how it all started, as partners and co-founder, right, of Coffee and Chill, right?
Co-founder Coffee and Chill Miami.
Yeah.
And then involved in Coffee and Chill as a whole as well. Okay. But yeah, so I'll take you back. I mean, I moved to Miami in 2021. I feel like that's really where it starts. And I was just so lonely when I moved here. It was the first adult move where it was not into a built-in community like a college or a job. And I was working remote, fully online. For a company where I never really met my coworkers. I met them one time ever, a year after working there. Yeah. So it was just this weird thing of, how do you actually make friends as an adult? Where do you go to meet people? And I felt so isolated, and I blamed Miami. I was like, oh, it's Miami, I need to leave. And then I realized, okay, this would be my reality no matter where I go. Mm-hmm. I graduated, I was a 2020 COVID grad. Oh. So
that must have been tough.
It was weird. Yeah. I still feel sad I didn't get a graduation. Yeah. I threw my cap in the living room, and that was it. Anyway.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
Sad. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it was a weird time because the world wasn't adapted to this remote work lifestyle either. Yeah. So we weren't really used to what is it like to just be on Zoom all day and be online all day, or be alone all day in your apartment working a job. So the world hadn't adapted to that either. And I just felt super disconnected. Mm-hmm. And school went from being in person in New York City, I went to Parsons, to immediately online, and teachers didn't even know how to use Zoom. It was what is happening? Right. So the last semester was a joke. Anyway, I moved to Miami, and I just was really struggling. Yep. Started going to events, found some friends in real life, and was okay, this feels like maybe we're headed in the right direction. Right. I also made some pretty big lifestyle changes. I stopped drinking and got really strict with my boundaries of what do I care about? What actually levels up to the big life that I want to have, and who am I spending my time and energy with, and getting really strict on that.
What was the catalyst for that? Because you're young at this point. You're in your early 20s?
Yeah.
So so mature. What was the catalyst for that?
I just felt like I kept spending time with people in this is easy. Okay, my boyfriend has these friends, and it's easy to just go out with them. And it's just easy to go to these happy hours. But then I would get home and I'd be that's not really what I want to be doing. I don't feel like these people are leveling me up towards my highest goals. And I just felt like I was wasting a lot of time hungover in bed. And it didn't take much to get me there. 2 drinks and I'd be unwell for days. I was what am I doing? This is not helping me thrive. And I could just take a break. So I was just I'm just going to not drink for a month and see how I feel, and start this new healthy habit. And then honestly, I haven't looked back. It's been 4 years. That's amazing. That was awesome. Part of the challenge and journey of finding friends. But I basically started going to these events. At the time, Miami's event scene is very different than what it is now. There was not really a wellness scene. There wasn't this huge event culture like there is now.
This was 21, 22?
21, yeah. Okay. 21, 22, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I saw an opportunity of like, I could host these events for women who also don't want to drink but still want to have a really good time. And that's kind of how it started. And I realized the only way to like take care of your mental and physical health is through in real life connection. You have to have a support system. I think before I took that for granted because I was in college, it's like, of course you're around people. Of course you have friends. So it was just a nice to have. And I didn't realize like, oh no, that's like vital. So once I had that realization, I was like, I want to start hosting events. And I threw my very first event with 30 people. And I was like, this is what I was meant to do.
Where was it?
It was at the Aloe store in Design District.
Wow, really? What was it? What kind of
It was like a yoga event. We had goodies and like it was like a very simple hour-long yoga class. I didn't teach. I hired an instructor that I loved in Miami and like that was it. And I was like, this is the thing.
Did you get the event venue for free?
Of course.
We have to talk about this. Well, don't worry.
Yes, but at the time, that was just luck. I didn't have a strategy. Now I have a strategy.
Yes.
So,
Okay, good. Okay, so then you throw this event. You realize this is my calling. I love it. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
You are still working remote for another company? Or?
I already quit. I'm a big, like, go all in kind of person. I
believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. Now that I know you and I know the other company that you run, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I was just like, this 9-to-5 life is not the life for me. And I knew that.
It's for the
I think I
birds.
knew that. Yeah. I think I knew that when I accepted the job, but like I needed the money. And I just moved to Miami. So I was like, I better have some income.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lasted maybe like a little over a year, but I was just like, this isn't for me. And I'm a big believer that if you don't make space for opportunity doesn't come. And I was like, this is never going to be, I'm never going to be in a situation where I go do the events or have to make it work or have to hustle and grind because I don't really need to. I have, a little steady paycheck and I could be fine.
Yeah.
But I knew I was very unfulfilled there. And so I just quit with really no plan.
Well, that's the beauty of being young. I mean, I did the same thing. So yeah. Good for you. Okay, so then you run this event. You're no longer working. What happens?
I run the event. I'm like, okay, I made like $300-ish on that first event.
Okay, nice.
Which is more than a lot of people like burn a lot of cash on a first event, but nowhere near like what you need to survive a day in Miami.
Oh God, I think that's like what would be the like lunch of
maybe you get a half a wrap. So I was like, okay, how do I make money doing this?
Yeah.
And then it was basically a lot of trial and error. I hosted all different types of events. I ate shit on some events. I lost up to $10,000 on a single event. Oof. I made a lot of stupid, silly mistakes that I could have avoided. Yeah. And I was just taking every resource. Event planning there's a lot of things you need to learn. Marketing, you need to learn sales, you need to learn sponsors, venues, a million and one skills. I mean, to run any business. So I was just cobbling together advice because there wasn't something that was focused on like, how do you make this into a business? Yeah. So I was just researching, I was trial and erroring, I was doing all the things.
But how were you getting people into the room? Like, what was the selling point?
It started from TikTok. TikTok was the big place where I built the community. When I first moved to Miami, I started sharing the journey of like, I hate living here, making fun of Miami stereotypes, just like sharing the real, raw behind the scenes. And a lot of people were resonating with that. Okay. And then I was going to other people's events and I was sharing like, come with me to this event, or like this event is coming up, like you should grab your tickets. And then I would see people show up. And I was like, what would it be like if these were my events instead of just promoting other people's events? So the community was really built off TikTok, and that's where I sold the first tickets. And I've gotten up to like 1,200 RSVPs from like a single video. It's insane. Yeah. So it came from social media. Okay. And the selling point of coming was meet other women, no drinking, no alcohol, which at the time in Miami wasn't as like trendy and common as it is now. Yeah. And come have like a really epic day. And I always would think about like, how can we make our guests feel like influencers, even if they're not? So like heavy on the gifting, all included in the ticket, matching outfits, all the things that the girlies love. And I feel like, again, at the time that was like, no one was doing that.
No, nobody was doing that. I've obviously been to and I've seen a few of your events, and like, she makes it look easy, you guys. So watching you do these events and like what you've done, and everything is like so perfect. I'm like, there's got to be some witchery. It's got to be doing
we love a few little tarot cards here and there. Yeah, I think it's having a good system, and it's having repeatable systems, and it's not, this is a big lesson I learned and I teach all of my clients. don't do everything for everyone. You can't just keep reinventing the wheels. People come to me all the time and they say, I want to host a wellness event, and then I want to host a dating event, and I want to host a friend social, and I want to host a crafting event, and I want to do all these things because I want to serve all these parts of my consumer. It's such a big mistake.
Yeah.
Not just because you'll struggle to sell tickets. There's a million and one things I could say about that, but also because you can't scale the back end.
Yeah.
You have to have repeatable systems. So, now with Coffee and Chill Miami, I'm hosting the same format event. We do things to keep it fresh and exciting and infuse like novelty, but the systems are so streamlined so that every time I do it, the compound learnings are applied and it gets easier and easier, which why now it looks like it's just like orchestrated perfectly. And it is now, but it takes time to get there. And if you're reinventing the wheel and scrapping your entire business every time, you have to keep going back to the drawing board, and it's so hard.
Yeah.
I think this is like I could go on a rant about this for a second, because this is a big trap that event planners get stuck in, because it's not like another business, like an e-com product. You have to like go through product development and get inventory and all these things. So it's like, or a tech product, you have to develop software, you work with engineers, like it takes months or years to develop this perfect product.
Yep.
Whereas with an event, you can have like shiny object syndrome every other week and be like, I can just throw this out, start over.
Yeah.
But it's killing your business. Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
It's the same thing about the online space though. Like you can't
100%.
like when people come to me and they're like, oh, I want to serve this person, and this person. I'm like, you cannot do that. Like you have to pick one avenue, one direction, create the system and the formula.
Yes.
And then once that works, then you can, like you said, like dress the stage differently. You can dress the event.
You can't just be dropping a new offer every other week. It's like,
no, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with Coffee and Chill now?
Coffee and Chill Miami, 2 years. We just hit our 2-year anniversary. Yes.
That's awesome. That's exciting. And you guys are doing some really big things. You landed some amazing partnerships. So tell us about some of the biggest, well, actually, before you tell us that, I want to learn like the biggest mistake you learned at the beginning with Coffee and Chill.
Ooh.
Like the event that you were like, oh, holy shit, we ate not well. Like it was not good.
There was one event that logistically was really challenging. Loading in, we didn't leave enough time and we were scrambling because there was like a really long load-in process. Like behind the scenes, you'd have to walk like 20 plus minutes from loading dock to the event space. Multiple elevators, and then we had an elevator get stuck, and we had things that couldn't fit through the doorway.
Of course an elevator would get stuck.
Just crazy things behind the scene that no one sees. So that was like, I was like stressing. My co-founder was out of town. I was like, we've got this, because he's more like logistics day of.
Yeah.
But sometimes like you just, this is why I like going back to venues that I know the operations, because we did another event there and it ran super smooth. But behind the scenes, like you just never know what's going on.
That's true.
We were scrambling. But honestly, like the learnings are, like I said before, they compound over time. So it's like we've made minor tweaks to the experience.
Yeah.
So people think, oh, it's the same event. But like if you came to the first one, we had a JBL speaker and like no DJ, like stock tanks from the feed and cattle stores or ice baths, like just like crazy, scrappy DIY, which is what you need to do in the beginning. Like we were literally fueling off community vibes. That was it. And now we have like these beautiful branded ice baths, and we have an insane DJ, like special guest DJs and live music. So we just continue to like elevate and upgrade the experience over time.
How many people do you guys usually bring in for these events?
500 to 1,000 every other weekend. And then the big events are like 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Guys, like what? Like that is crazy. And it started with like what, 100 people?
250 at the first event.
I remember the first Coffee and Chill event that I saw. Well, first of all, when I moved down here to Miami, everyone was like, Coffee and Chill, Coffee and Chill. Like, what is this Coffee and Chill? I'm like, a bunch of people. And like Miami in bikinis. I was like, oh my God, this is like probably a show. And then everyone was like, oh my God, it's so fun. It's so fun. And then I met you. And then I was like, oh my God, she seems really cool. This seems like a good time. And then I remember you told us, like, we were all in a group chat and the tickets went live. And then like 15 minutes later, not even, I think it was like 5 minutes later, they were all sold out. Yes. Like, what was that? Walk us through what's the excitement, the breadcrumb that you do?
Yes. Well, it started at the launch strategy. We started with 250 because we knew we could fill that room, because I was hosting events before, and through our personal networks, we were like, that's a confident number. So we sold out the first event. It took like a few days, I think, on the first one. And then we're like, okay, we have demand. You could easily say, let's scale to 500. Instead, we went like 250 to 300, 300 to 350, or we went up in like very small increments to keep obviously the experience good, but also like keep demand building. And then we make a really big deal about the sellout. So like you don't miss that we sold out. Like, you're going to know because we're putting screenshots, it's on the stories, we're like driving that, and we're pushing people to a wait list. So we just created a lot of FOMO. We had really good market fit. It was very culturally timely to launch this. Like, now you're like, okay, Ice Bath's at an event, like, cool, coffee parties, cool, there's a million of them. At the time, like, no one was doing that. There was no social day party focused around ice baths. That was sober at these sick venues with the brands and the gifting. Like, it was very, like, timely, and people were craving that. People wanted that party-like atmosphere without the alcohol. So I think we hit the market right at the right time. And then we just slowly, like, released more and more tickets over time and just built demand and created FOMO and kept elevating. We do things, like I mentioned before, to keep novelty. So we started doing the DJ programming, and then we started theming the events, and we started doing new venues. So, like, that kept people on their toes. But I remember distinctly, it was like maybe the third event, couple of months after launch, I was in the airport in, I think it was like June, July time, and we launched in April, so like just a couple months. And we were selling out consistently at this point, but like we'd always sold out the tickets, but we dropped them, and I was in the airport, and I remember looking at my phone and being like, like, it had to
be a glitch.
Like, it crashed the site or something. There's no way it sold out. It was literally like 60 seconds, and they were gone. 500 tickets, like a sneaker drop or something. I was like, there's no way. I'm like texting everyone. I'm like, are we sure? Like, they literally sold out that fast. It was crazy. And then I'm in all these group chats, and I remember seeing this girl text in. She's like, me pulling over on the highway to grab my coffee and chill tickets. And I was like, this is just crazy.
Oh my God.
It was like excitement. Such a cultural like phenomenon for this like period during the launch. And then we've just kind of rode that wave since then.
That's amazing. Okay. So I'm assuming obviously the audience pays for the tickets, but you're leveraging the audience to the media companies or to the brands.
To the brands, yes. Yeah. Okay. They pay for tickets, but then brand revenue is a lot of our revenue.
That's awesome. That's really good. So tell us, what's the secret sauce? Like, what are you doing? Who are you pitching to? You've got some pretty big brands.
Yes. So some of the partnerships that you see, and like the big ones, like Inter Miami, Miami Dolphins, Formula One, Miami Open, like these major like sports teams, franchises, we work with them to bring credibility, to bring hype, to bring excitement, to create like a novel one-off experience. And then we also leverage that we're working with them to sell in all the e-com like CPG products that you see at the events that pay a lot to be there.
Love it.
We're also leveraging our content and our social media to sell to brands because they want content, they want exposure. That's huge. I also just think brands need to get in real life. Like, the feed is crowded. People are sick of being bombarded with ads. It's so hard to cut through the noise. So I'm really selling to them, like, get in person with your customer, send your team, send somebody you love from your team to interact, to educate on the product. People get to feel it. They get to taste it. Like, are they converting on the spot and like buying your product in full size on your website? No, but it's one touch point of many on the customer journey, and I think one of the most valuable. That's worth way more than 20 ads popping up on their feed.
100%. So I agree with you, and I feel like, do you feel like they're starting to get it?
I think so. I think they're starting to get it. Especially as we're seeing like this rise of AI and like all of these like AI creators, and like there's just so much noise online, and I think people are sick of it. Like, I mean, AI is amazing. Like, we have to adapt and use it, but nothing will ever replace in real life connection. And I think now more than ever, like, people want that. Brands need that. And I think the brands that are smart are like, they're coming and they're showing up in a big way. They're not like scrappy budget. Like, we're not going to gift product. Like, they're gifting full-size product. They're doing a sick activation. They're paying to be there. They're getting content. They're sending a social media girl from their team or a social media person to come film UGC. They're getting testimonials. They're getting content to run in ads. Like, if they make the most of the opportunity, it's so, like, the ROI is crazy. I'm like, you would have to pay models, write scripts, do all these, like, insane things to get the creatives that you can get at an event. So if they're really taking advantage of the opportunity, I think the ROI is a no-brainer. I mean, again, it's not, like, direct conversion, but it's, I think,
exposure.
It's so valuable.
I love it. Okay. So the big question that I want to ask you, because I think you already mentioned that you're someone who goes all in. You're in Coffee and Chill, it's flowing, it's great. Now you started a second business.
Yes.
And this isn't just like a little business. This is a full-blown, like, very successful business. Yes. You can tell us how successful if you're comfortable. Very successful business. What I want to know is what was the shift? What was I think you're very strong-willed, Lucy, in that you decide something, you go for it. You said, I'm going to try to be sober for 30 days. And like, it's been 4 years, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to evaluate the friends that I'm with. It is hard for people to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And when did you see the opportunity to expand, to say like, okay, people are coming to me for this? I'm assuming that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is like, when did you take that leap of faith? What was the thing that you were like, what was your bathroom moment? That's what I call it. Because anytime you do something that's like, and then, we'll answer those two. And then I have a follow-up on that.
Yes. It did start because people were asking.
Yeah.
I was hosting these big events. They were selling out really fast. We're working these insane brands.
Yeah.
People are DMing me.
Yeah.
How are you doing this? Can you coach me? Can you get on a call with me?
Yeah.
And I kept being like, no, because I don't really I don't have an offer. I don't really do that. And then every time I'd say no, I'm like, well, that's a disservice to them.
Yeah.
I'm leaving money on the table.
Totally.
There's so many opportunities to help all of these community builders who are like me 2 years ago, 3 years ago when I was struggling and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I just felt like there's such a thing here.
Definitely.
And the demand was obvious. So that's how the seed was planted. And I think it was planted maybe 6 months to a year before I really took action and launched something. I worked with your friend Julia, and that was a big push. I was like, I need somebody who's going to hold me accountable to this goal of I'm going to launch a product around this.
Yeah.
So I invested in a coach, huge believer investing in coaching. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching.
Yep.
But I think it's so important. I'm a huge advocate for anyone to invest in someone, to hold them accountable, to give them the system, skip the steps. If there's a roadmap, go get the roadmap.
Yeah.
With the events, I didn't see that roadmap out there with how to get them to turn into a real business.
Yep.
That's also why I wanted to create one. So we put the date on the calendar and I hustled really hard and made it happen. It was kind of insane. But I did have really good systems, like I mentioned, with Coffee and Chill.
Yep.
It's repeatable. I have a co-founder. We have really streamlined back end.
Yep.
And I knew that those events were going to be able to continue, but they weren't taking full-time attention.
Yep.
And I have a great team, and I had the systems to be able to work on this too.
I love it. So it was just the accountability, and then obviously the time and space to be able to say okay, I can actually spend time on this.
Yes. I also have a co-founder who runs sales operations, who is also my boyfriend.
Yes.
And I wouldn't say everyone should go work with their boyfriend, but if you really think they are truly the best fit for the job, regardless of your relationship, then I think it can be great. And that's been just instrumental to the growth. I wouldn't be able to build this business alone. If I was a solo founder on both things, no way.
Yeah. That's true. I totally forgot that he was on the table too.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys have been together forever too.
Almost 8 years in August. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's beautiful though.
Yes.
I love that. I love that for you. Okay. So you've created this amazing business. It's you and your boyfriend. You guys are, how old is it now? Almost 2 years, right?
A little over a year and a half.
Okay.
And we're a team of 11 now.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow. What's the name of the company?
Community Building Collective, but the product is Community Mastery.
I love it. And you basically
one product right now. So
and you're basically helping people build community, just exactly what you're doing.
Yes. In real life events must be the product of their business. It can't be I'm a coach who wants to host events, or I'm a gym who wants to host events. It's the events are the thing.
Yeah.
And then we work across, dating, business, wellness, fitness, a lot of different niches all over the world. We're across 11 countries now, but it has to be in real life, not virtual, not personal, not adjacent.
I love it. Okay, so Lucy, you run 2 businesses, technically, 2 companies.
Yeah.
You have the systems in place. You have all the system, the organization. Everything seems to be running. Obviously, you're in and out. What do you feel has been the thing that's held you accountable? Because I think people believe that you always have to be motivated and inspired. And let's be fucking real.
Not every day is like that.
Yeah, the gasoline only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
So what is that inner thing that keeps you going?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Really good question.
I know. And I
Going
see.
deep. Okay.
And the reason I say that and the reason I ask this is because knowing you and knowing that little part of you, the stuff behind the scenes and how successful and how accomplished you've been, I know that there's so much of that fuel. We all have it.
It's definitely deeply ingrained.
Yeah.
I feel
what is the mission? What is there? What's
There's
happening?
a few things that come to mind.
Yeah.
First, I think my parents instilled this mentality in me.
Yeah.
They're not, I didn't come from a lot of money. They don't have like crazy businesses or anything like that. But I always had a vision board in my room growing up. It was always like, yes, like you want to do like these crazy like ballet schools that we can't afford. Like you're going to crowdfund it and we're going to support you and we're going to teach you how to crowdfund it and we're going to go and we're going to figure it out. It was always yes. It was never no. Didn't matter if they had no money to pay for it. It was
love that.
And I think that's like a instilled belief from like a very, very young age. So I think that's helped my mindset a lot and just being like, oh, if I can dream it, I can have it. And like the roadmap to get there, like, fuck it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I also see like, you know, my parents not have the financial stability that I crave and I want. So I think that's been fuel as well of like, you really want that not to be a source of stress, a source of fighting, a source of anxiety. So I think that's definitely motivated me.
Yep.
I also think like more practically for other business owners listening, it's like once you start the thing and you get somebody, a client, a guest, whatever the business model is in the door, you are accountable to them.
Yeah.
And that keeps me going. Like my team is accountable. I'm accountable to my team as well.
11 people. Whew.
Yeah. And like it totally makes sense for where we are in the business, but it is a lot emotionally to carry and be like, wow, like they hold me accountable for sure. But before you're at that stage, your clients hold you accountable. Like
definitely. Yep.
When you host the first event, you have 30 people come and then people are like, when's the next one?
Yep.
You're like, oh, fuel. They want it. I want to give it to them. I'm going to make the next one happen. Or your clients who buy from you, it's like you're accountable to them. They gave you all this money. Like I want to make sure that they come in and they're blown away. Like this is not going to be your experience like, oh, just another course. Like this is going to be tailored, one-to-one, hands-on support. You are going to be like thrilled about your investment. So I think you really get held accountable to the people that you are servicing.
I would agree. So balance. As someone who's running like 2 businesses, how do you find the time and the balance to like have fun?
I do feel like I balance, but it's because I'm very disciplined and rigid. And people like look at the time blocking that I do and they're like, oh, you have no like room for fun. And I'm like, no, this is how I have the room for fun because I just plan the fun.
Yeah, I also think that like that is fun to you.
It is fun. Yes.
Yeah, that is
I'm very type A. My mom literally told me, she was like, you've had like a to-do list since you were 5. Like literally, there's a picture of it, like brush your hair, brush your teeth, make your bed, like before like elementary school. Like this is just who I am. So like there is a bit of that. Like
I think like your definition is fun. Like I always tell, I tell my clients, I tell everyone, like at the end of the day, like own who you are 100%. Like if you love to do what you do, like don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed to actually do what you love to do. Okay, Lucy, so we end this podcast with 3 questions. Okay. Ready? What was your last trip?
Costa Rica yoga retreat.
Okay, what was the most memorable moment?
Horseback riding through the jungle to the waterfalls. And then we did like a meditation in a circle with like a flower mandala at the top of this mountain.
Wow.
With all the horses around us. And it was just like, I felt like I could lay there forever. I was like in such a deep like relaxation. Laying in the grass. It was like quiet. And that's just something you can't even get in Miami. Like, doesn't matter where you are. No. Yeah.
Okay, the last and final question.
Okay.
If there was, I guess, 10 years ago? Maybe, we'll say between like 5 to 10 years ago. You could tell anything to Lucy, little Lucy. What would you tell her now that you know what you know that she needed to hear then?
Listen to your intuition. And take care of yourself, like physically. Prioritize your wellness routines. Like really take care of yourself. I feel like when you lose that, like you lose everything, and you lose connection to your intuition if you're not well.
Yeah.
And I think I've done a pretty good job of that over the years, but I think like you can't do it enough. And like there were periods where I was more disciplined than others, and like I think that that's like just the backbone of everything is that I do have balance, even if I'm not like working out hard every day. It's like I'm working out 4 times a week for years on end now. Like, and that's better. Yeah. So like consistency doesn't always mean every day. It just means what's sustainable. Yeah. So I think that's really important too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lucy.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Yay.
Yay.
I love it. This was so good.